Hello students, welcome to Change in Velocity. Today we will discuss I-Level Secondary Science 2021 October paper. Let's look at the first question. In the first question they are asking about the digestive system. I have already labeled few of these. They are asking the X. Which part of the digestive system is labeled as X? That is the esophagus. And the other ones are, you can see I have labeled stomach and also pancreas, large intestine, liver and small intestine. We'll move to the next question. I have already marked esophagus over here. Second question, the diagram shows an outline of periodic table. 4 areas have been shaded and labeled PQRS. Let's look at the question. Which area contains only non-metals? So when we are learning about the periodic table, we discuss this one. This section, which is the right hand upper corner, right side upper corner, we have the non-metals. The other ones are metals. Area P, if we discuss, those are the alkali metals. This group is alkali metals. And this area Q is containing transition metals. This whole block is transition metal. And area R also has metals. And the answer is area S. Next question. Which is the correct chemical formula for sodium chloride? We know sodium symbol is Na, chlorine symbol is Cl. So once these two combine, it's creating NaCl. And valency of sodium is 1, chlorine is also 1. Fourth question. Which of these is a part of circulatory system? In the circulatory system, there are few parts. The capillaries, veins, arteries and the heart. Those are the parts containing in the circulatory system. Brain belongs to nervous system. And kidney belongs to excretory system. Pancreas belongs to digestive system. Moving to next one. Solar cells absorb energy from the sun. Let's go through how is this energy transferred from the sun to the solar energy. So it is transferred from the light waves. We can't see any forces applying, and heating is also infrared radiation, and electricity is generated. They are asking the energy transferred from which source. So it is light energy. Sixth question, the box contains the names of 3 types of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi and virus, and they have given and marked which one is available in which microorganism. So cell wall, mitochondria and nucleus, all 3 is included in fungi. And cell wall, mitochondria, nucleus, any of these are not available, that should be viruses. Then cell wall is included, that should be bacteria. Next one. The diagram shows an outline of the periodic table and 5 elements have labeled using the letters P, Q, R, S and T. The letters are not the chemical symbols of the elements. Choose letters from the diagram to complete the sentences below. They are talking about similar properties in the first question. We know that similar properties are available in the same group elements. So if you look at this, the same group is, this is one group. So we can say spt will have similar properties. Next question, they are from the same period. So this is a period over here. So it should be PQR. Next question. 8th question. The diagram shows a simple food web. You can see it starts with blackberry plant. Give the name of an omnivore in this food web. Okay, if you look at, you can see easily the fox is eating both the blackberry plant and mouse. So fox will be the omnivore here. Next question. Give the name of the producer in this food web. Producer we already know, that is the blackberry plant. Next question, describe what the arrows in the food web shows. We know that it shows the direction of the energy flow, or we can say the direction of flow of energy. Next question. Two plotting compasses are placed next to a bar magnet. The arrowheads head on the pointer of each compass and the north pole. The compass points in the direction shown. They are asking us to complete the diagram. So you can see that the compass is pointing towards this bar magnet, so that it has to be the south pole. We know that the arrows are going into the south pole and arrows are going out from the north pole. Let's discuss the 10th question. In this question, this is the chemical symbol for an atom of an element called chromium. Complete these sentences. The mass number of this atom is, we know the mass number is right up here, which is the addition of number of protons and number of neutrons. So mass number of this atom is 52. Then there's atomic number. Atomic number is this, that is the number of protons. That is 24. Number of neutrons in the atomic atom of chromium is, now we know that number of protons is right inside this. We can subtract the atomic number from the mass number, which is 52 minus 24. You'll get the answer as 28. So the answer is 28 here. 11th question. The bulb in the circuit has a resistance of 30 ohms. Each cell has a voltage of 1.5 volts. So you can see here in this question they have given 3 volts, which means each one is having 1.5, so that the total voltage is equals to 4.5 volts. And they have given the equation voltage equals current into resistance. They are asking calculate the size of the current that flows through, which means we need to rearrange this equation, so that I will show you how to find out. Now here this I is multiplied with R, so we need to get rid of this R so that you can divide both sides by R. If you divide both sides by R, what you are getting is I equals V over R. I'm going to substitute. I equals total voltage is 4.5 divided by 30 ohms. Answer is I equals 0.15 amperes. Moving to next 12th question. The diagram shows two sound waves. The scales on each diagram are the same. If you compare each of these, both of these, wave in A and B, you can see that the amplitude is less in wave B, and also you can see that the frequency of A is higher than B. State two ways in which wave A would sound different to wave B. So we can give those 2 points. Wave A has more amplitude. Amplitude is the height from the undisturbed point to the crest. So that amplitude is higher in wave A. That means it's louder. Amplitude higher means louder. And also in wave A, the frequency, so the number of cycle is more than wave B, so that we can say wave A is higher pitched. We'll note down. And wave A would be louder. Next question. What are the units for work done? If I revise you about work done equals force into distance moved. In this one, the distance is towards a force applied. So I will just simply say force into distance, and which means force is measured in newtons and distance is measured in meters. So it has to be Newton meter. But we don't have Newton meters. The reason is work done is also equals to energy transferred. So answer is joules, which is used for energy. 14th one, which of these explains why the weight of an astronaut is less on the moon than the earth? The first point, they say there is no atmosphere on moon. Second one, the moon's gravitational field strength is smaller than the earth. See, the astronaut has more mass on earth than mass cannot change depending on the surface. It just depends on the object itself. There's no gravity on moon. No, that is wrong. There's a gravity on moon. The problem is that moon has a less mass on it, so that it can create a less amount of gravitational field strength. So that the answer is B. Moon has a less gravitational field. The reason is moon is smaller. Moon has less mass than the earth. 15th question. If an object falls out of an aeroplane without a parachute, it will reach terminal velocity and will hit the ground with a vertical speed of about 53 meters per second. Which of the following speed time graph shows how the vertical speed of the object will change from leaving the plane until just before it hits the ground. So that here what they say is the speed increases. You know, if something drops from stationary, it keeps on increasing. So it can't be A, because A is showing some kind of a value of speed and it's constant. So this is constant speed. We can't have this. So let's look at others. Okay, here you can see the vertical speed increases until 53. But we have learned that it turns into a terminal velocity. So in order to turn into a terminal velocity, or in order to reach a terminal velocity, it has to decrease velocity and it has to reach a constant velocity. So here the velocity increases, which is kind of acceleration, and this reaches the constant velocity. This is the part we are calling terminal velocity. So the answer is D. Next question. When a small piece of sodium is dropped into water, there is a fast reaction. The products of the reaction are sodium hydroxide solution and a colorless gas. This is an important incomplete equation for the reaction. You can see two water molecules react with two sodium atoms and it creates two sodium hydroxide plus. We need to write down the missing answer. If you can remember, it's hydrogen, and also it has to be balanced, and also it comes in, hydrogen gas is a diatomic molecule, so it will be staying as H2. So the answer is C. Write it over here. So when metal reacts with water, it creates its hydroxide and it emits hydrogen gas as well. It is already balanced in this way. Which of these is the correct equation for photosynthesis? This is the equation. It's better if you can remember the whole equation as it is. So 6 carbon dioxide plus 6 H2O will give a glucose molecule, which is C6H12O6 plus 6O2. The answer is B. Eighteenth question. Name two parts of the cell that are found in plant cell but not in animal cells. There are 3 parts, but we'll write 3 of them. Cell wall. If you have written 2, you are getting the marks. Second one, chloroplast. Third one, permanent vacuole. Next question. The symbol on a material means that it is biodegradable. State what is meant by biodegradable. So biodegradable means it's like degradable part means it can be broken. Bio means it can be broken in a natural process. So usually with these microorganisms and those decomposers, we can say. Okay, I will give the sentence this way. Something that can decay in a natural process by bacteria, or you can say microorganisms. Next part, give one example of a problem caused by the use of non-biodegradable plastics. You know, the pollution is happening because of this reason, because those things are not degraded, or like it's not decomposed properly, so that it will get piled up. So landfills and also like pollution, land pollution, water pollution, for most of the pollution this is the reason. So we will say fills up land, water pollution. Going to next, state one way of reducing the problems caused by the use of non-biodegradable plastic. This one we can use natural materials. And you can say we can dispose plastics carefully. And we can say recycle or reuse them. Let's look at the 20th question. Exercise causes an increase of the pulse rate. Explain why it is important that this increase happens. We know when a person exercises, the person requires more energy. To produce more energy, the mitochondria has to produce ATP. That means that requires more glucose and oxygen if the mitochondria is doing aerobic respiration. So that pulse rate has to increase because it has to pump blood in order to send this oxygen, glucose and remove carbon dioxide, which is the waste product. So we will note about that. Exercise increase energy demand. Muscles need more energy. Muscles need more glucose. Muscles need to get rid of carbon dioxide. So pulse rate needs to increase to pump more blood. You can elaborate it and write in your own sentence. Next question, 21. The diagram shows two objects A and B in water. Object has a bigger volume than object B. The weight of both object is 100 newtons. Object A floats on the water, but object B sinks. You can see that the size is a little bit different in between these two. So they are saying object A has a bigger volume than object B. State the size of the upthrust force that acts on object A. You can see object A is floating and the arrow of this upthrust is also similar to the weight. So we can note down it is also 100 newtons. Next one, explain why object B sinks. You can see the upthrust arrow is very small with compared with object A. So we can note down, since the B has less volume, since object B has less volume, less upthrust is applied on object B. Since object B has less volume, less upthrust is applied on object B, which is smaller than 100 newtons. Due to that, resultant force on object B is downwards. Or you can say actually object B is more dense than water. So if there is something which is more dense than the liquid, that object can sink in. Next one, the box contains the names of some materials. Use words from the box to complete these sentences. Element, polymers. So we look at what is an element out of this. Yeah, gold is an element. Then polymers, we have rubber as a polymer. MDF is a composite material. And porcelain, ceramic material. Salt is salt, and glass is also ceramic material. Moving to next. 23rd one, the diagram shows a wheelbarrow. They're talking about moment. The perpendicular distance between the effort force and the axle is 90 centimeters. What is this distance in meters? Okay. We know 90 is in centimeters, so we can divide by 100. We are getting 0.9 meters. Like that you can write down. Next. To use the wheelbarrow, the effort must produce a moment or turning effect of 80 Newton meter above the axle. Calculate the size of the effort force. Use this equation. They have given the equation, so they are asking you to find out the force. First of all, we'll subject force and then look at what are the things that they have given. So force equals moment over perpendicular distance. Moment is 80 Newton meters divided by, we look at the perpendicular distance to the force, that is this distance that they have given, 90 centimeters, and we have already done the calculation to find out that it is 0.9 meters. We'll use that value. The answer is 20 newtons. Move to next question. 24th one, what is the function of vein? Now we know when we consider the circulatory system, there are three parts, three major parts. It's heart, arteries and veins. In between the arteries and veins, we can find out capillaries. We look at what are the specific parts to carry blood towards the heart. That is the function of vein actually. Carry the blood away from the heart, that is a function of artery. To carry oxygenated blood to the brain, oxygenated blood cannot go to the brain in a vein. To pump blood around the body, that is the pumping blood happens by the heart. 25th one, when a metal carbonate reacts with an acid, the products are salt, water and carbon dioxide, which is the correct equation for the reaction between copper carbonate and hydrochloric acid. Now in this achievement test, we have seen this copper carbonate reaction with hydrochloric acid or any acid is given very commonly. So this one answer has to be copper carbonate, hydrochloric acid and copper chloride, H2O and CO2, which has to be balanced. And the answer is B over here. You can see there's 2 for hydrochloric acid and that's the only coefficient given here. Now to understand how this equation is balanced, there are 2 methods. One thing you can remember this type of equations. The second one is if you know balancing equation. Now I'm planning to do another separate video for balancing equation. If you would like to watch that, please comment down so that I can give the priority to that video. Balancing equations. 26th question. There are many factors that affect the growth of a living organism within its environment. Which of these is an abiotic factor? So abiotic means non-living. If we say biotic factor means living factor. So we'll look at what are the non-living things over here. Competition with organisms, diseases, light intensity, the presence of predators. Light intensity will be the non-living factor. 27th question. Which of these particles have a charge and are found in a nucleus of an atom? We know that if you consider an atom, inside there is a nucleus and outside there are electrons. So electrons will be out here and inside there are protons and neutrons. It has to be particles have a charge. Yeah, if it is having a charge, that has to be proton only, because proton has a positive charge. 28th one, the diagram shows 2 charged spheres. Which of these statement is true? You can see both of them are positively charged. So that we know that the like charges will repel. The spheres will repel each other because they both have the same charge. That answer is correct. Answer is B. Next question, 29th question. The surface area, volume and the surface area to volume ratio plays an important part in the functioning of living organisms. So they have given some values. This data can be used to calculate the surface area to volume ratio for each animal. Draw one straight line for each animal to its surface area to volume ratio. First of all, we have 24 to 8. So you'll have to use the calculator for this. If you do the ratio 24 divided by 8, you'll get 3. So that 3 is for mouse. Second one for dog. You can put this value 14,168.7 divide by 108,990. I'm getting 0.13, that is for dog. Then for elephant it is 138,240 divided by 3,456,000. That's 0.04. It's a quite small value. 0.04 is for elephant. So if you are connecting these type of answers, please make sure that you use a straight line, use a ruler, pencil and draw it. After that, if you want, you can indicate. The leaves of cactus plants found in desert area have a low surface area to volume ratio. State one advantage of the leaves of cactus plant in desert area having a low surface area to volume. It can actually reduce the water loss from the surface of the leaves, and also it can reduce the leaves drying out. Can reduce evaporation. Thirtieth question. Phenolphthalein is an indicator that has a different color in acids and alkali. It's an indicator, and there are a few other indicators that you have learned about: universal indicator, litmus, and methyl orange. And we are talking about phenolphthalein here. Use words from the box to complete these statements about the color of phenolphthalein. When phenolphthalein is added to an alkali, it is pink in color. When phenolphthalein is added to an acid, it is colorless. And if it is in a neutral solution also, it will be colorless. We move to next one. 31. The bullet train is in Japan is designed to travel fast. Explain how the shape of the train helps it achieve a high speed. Now we know when object is moving, it will have friction and also air resistance applied on it, or drag force applied on it. Higher or the faster it goes, this drag force increases. So in order to reduce this drag force, we can have this streamlined shape. These type of shapes we know, streamlined shape. We have discussed about fish and bird. These animals are having, naturally they are having that shape. That's a streamlined shape that is there to reduce the air resistance. So we will note down that. We call this is aerodynamic shape also. Aerodynamic shape to help reduce air resistance or drag. Okay, let's look at next question. 32. The graph shows how the average population of rabbits and foxes in an area changed. During 2019, the fox population was almost completely killed by disease. Average population is given. It's ranging from 0 to 1400 in this axis, and the other axis is the time or the years. What would be expected to happen to the population of rabbits during 2019? Now, the sudden fox disappearance is shown. So, what will happen is number of rabbits will increase. So, what is the reason? Because there are less predators to hunt down rabbits. So, we will note down first thing they are asking what would expect to happen to the population of rabbits. So, the direct answer is population of rabbits will increase. So, I will write down the reason also, because we need to practice this one. Whenever we write this exact answer, if another reason is behind it, better, I mean, for this question you don't need to write that, but sometimes this question can be a 2-mark question where they are referring to the reason also. So, I will write it because of that reason. Due to reduction of predators. What would be expected to happen to the population of rabbits after 2019? Now you can see a gradual increase in the foxes, so that definitely they will increase naturally, so that after 2019 the population of rabbit will stop increasing, or it will like come to a kind of a constant value, or it will come to a level of and after that it will start decreasing once again. So we'll write down that. Point of next 33. There are different types of chemical reaction. Draw one straight line from each type of chemical reaction to its description. They have given endothermic, thermal decomposition and exothermic. Endothermic means energy is given out, we know that, and endothermic is energy is entering in, exothermic means energy is going out, and thermal decomposition means energy taken and it breaks down the compound into other small compounds or molecules. Let's look at what are the terms given? Breaking down a compound using heat, so that is for thermal decomposition. The reaction that produces acidic solution, a reaction that gives out heat energy, and a reaction that produces a neutral solution, a reaction that takes in energy from the surrounding. So that we know that the object, if object is taking in energy, that is endothermic. So we will connect it. Okay, so break down the compound using heat, thermal decomposition, exothermic, a reaction that takes in energy, and endothermic, a reaction that takes in energy from the surrounding, exothermic, a reaction that gives out heat energy. Talk about a reaction that produces a neutral solution. When you mix acid and alkali together, there can be a neutral solution. We call that is the neutralization process. 34. A car completes a journey of 270 kilometers in 4 hours and 30 minutes. Calculate the average speed of the car in kilometers per hour. Use the equation. It's good that they have given almost all the equations here. And the first one we need to better rearrange because they asked to calculate the speed. So average speed equals distance traveled is 270 divided by 4.5, because 4 hours and 30 minutes means 4.5. So the answer will be 60 kilometers per hour. Next question. So you can write down the answer over here as well. Next question. 35. The student investigates a reaction of 4 different metals A, B, C, D. These are the students' results. Metal B reacts more quickly with dilute acid than metal A, C, D. And when metal C is heated with the oxide of metal A, it displaces metal A. Use these results to place the 4 metals A, B, C, D and D in order of reactivity. We know that if something is reactive, it can displace the less reactive metal from its compound or like its solution also. When metal C is heated with the oxide of metal A, it displaces A. So that means C has to be more reactive. So I'll write down that in the side. So A has to be down here. Metal B reacts more quickly with dilute acids than metal A, B, C, D. Metal D does not displace any of the metals from their aqueous source. So D has to be very unreactive. So B has to be more reactive than all of these. So the order has to be B, C, A, D. So that's the end of section A. We'll look at section B questions. 36. A student investigates how the friction force between box and the surface it rests on it affect by weight. Yeah, when the weight increases, you can see force need to move the box in newtons changes. They have given 400 newtons. Yeah. The diagram shows the results when the weight of the box and weight is 100 newtons. Use this information to complete the table of results. So we can look at the reading over here. It's in between 0 and 100. Force meter, it's at 70. It's at exactly 70. Next one. Plot the results in 400 newtons. Circle any anomalous results on the graph. Draw a line of best fit. So for 70, for 100 it is 70. So you can mark that over here. And we'll try to see this one. Now, if you look at all of these, they're like in a proper order except one of these. So we'll mark the anomalous point. It has to be this one. And we will put this line. And you can see it's like properly going through all the points nicely. You can draw it to 0 point as well. Next question. How could the results of the investigation be made more reliable? To make it more reliable, we can do the experiment several times and take the average. So repeat and take an average. Next one, what is the relationship between the weight of the box and weight and the force needed to move it? So we can write the bigger the weight of the box and weights, the greater force needed. The bigger the weight of the box and weight, the greater the force needed. Next one, how would the line on the graph be different if the investigation was carried out with the box resting on a rougher surface? We know that then there will be more friction, so that there will be more force needed, like more force needed to drag it to this side. So there will be, I'll move to the graph over here. So if the weight value is over there, what will happen is these points will be a little bit far away. I'll use a different color, like it will be somewhere like that. So that means the line will be more steeper. Okay, next question. 37th question. A student notices that when a metal reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid, there is an increase in temperature. The student investigates if different metals give different increase in temperature. The student uses this apparatus and 4 different metals. There's a thermometer and a beaker, 25 cubic centimeters of dilute hydrochloric acid. So you need to remember that the volume is constant over here. These are the steps in the student's method. They are not in the correct order. Let's look at the terms that they have given. Add a piece of metal to the dilute hydrochloric acid. Record the highest temperature reached in the beaker. Record the starting temperature of the dilute hydrochloric acid. Repeat the first 5 steps of the method for the other 3 metals. So that must be the last point, of course. Pour 25 cubic centimeter of dilute hydrochloric acid into a beaker. Stir carefully with the thermometer. Complete the flowchart below by putting the steps for this method into the correct order. The first and the final steps have been done for you. So they have given E and D, so we'll cut out that. Pour 25 cubic centimeter of dilute hydrochloric acid into the beaker, that's given. After that, we can say record the starting temperature of dilute hydrochloric acid, so it has to be C. Then D is given once again. Record the highest temperature reached. No, add a piece of metal. Yeah, now we need to add this one, add a piece of metal. After that, stir carefully with the thermometer F. Then we can say record the highest temperature B. Suggest the apparatus the student should use to measure 25 cubic centimeter of dilute hydrochloric acid. We know that is the measuring cylinder. Next one. Suggest one safety precaution the student should take because they are using a dilute acid and give a reason for your answer. Safety precaution, we can say wear goggles, wear safety glasses, or wear gloves. We will talk about wearing goggles. The reason is this dilute even though this is a dilute acid, that is also irritant. We call that concentrated acids are corrosive, and dilute hydrochloric acid can be acid is irritant or it can cause harm. I'll note down that. Next question, what is the dependent variable in this investigation? What are we changing over here is the type of metal. What we change is the type of metal. Depending on the metal, the temperature changes. So the dependent variable is temperature increase. State two variables that needs to be controlled in this investigation. They have already told about the volume of acid, so we can say the concentration of acid. And also we can say that the size of the metal or the surface area of the metal, if it is powder, like definitely even though it's the same metal, if it is in a different surface area, different amount of mass, the reaction time and the temperature that it is increasing can be different. So we can note down I put a comma and write the third point that I have, the surface area of the metal. Next one, give a suggestion for another investigation of the reaction between the different metals and the dilute hydrochloric acid, which could be carried out using the apparatus in the diagram. We can check whether the concentration of acid is affecting on the temperature increase. Now in this experiment what we do is we change the metal from different metal to metal, but we can change the concentration of the acid and check for the same metal and the same amount of metal how the temperature varies. And also we can change the surface area and check as well. I'll write it this way, effect of temperature on acid concentration. Effect of temperature on acid concentration. The same metal and the hydrochloric acid has to be there. Next one, a scientist has been asked to test the effectiveness of two antibacterial kitchen cleaning liquids. The cleaning liquids are labeled cleaning liquid A and cleaning liquid B. The scientist takes sample of bacteria from two tabletops. The scientist takes sample of the bacteria from each of the tabletops before and after the surface have been cleaned with the cleaning liquid. The samples are then analyzed for the number of bacteria they contain. The bar chart shows the results. Number of bacteria in thousands they have given before and after. After cleaning with clean liquid B, you can see it has dropped, and even cleaning liquid A, it has dropped. How many bacteria are killed by cleaning liquid A? We need to find out the difference here. And it's given in thousands, so 100,000 minus this value is 25. So we'll do a small calculation. 100 minus 25, it is 75,000. Moving to next. It is predicted that both cleaning liquids will kill bacteria, but that cleaning liquid B is more effective at killing bacteria than cleaning liquid A. Explain how well the result supports this prediction. Now, if you look at these two charts, you can see that after cleaning also on with cleaning liquid B, there's a higher amount than compared with cleaning liquid A. But the thing is, on the tabletop which clean liquid A is used, the amount of bacteria initially available is less with compared with the second tabletop. So in the second one, you can see it's around 280,000 and it has dropped to 140,000. So we'll look at how much of difference is there in between these two values. 280,000 minus 140,000. That will be around 140,000 difference. Now we know in the first clean liquid A is only 75,000 it decreased, but by using cleaning liquid clean liquid B, there's a decrease in 140,000. So we'll note down that we know that both clean liquids have killed bacteria. Cleaner B kills more bacteria. Cleaner A. More living bacteria are left by cleaner B. But neither cleaner kills all bacteria. Both of them are not that effective, like they're not killing it 100%. And we can say cleaner A kills 75 of the bacteria percent, but cleaner B kills only around 50% of it. Or you can talk with the amounts as well. Now initially here it is 100 and it goes down to 25, so that means 75% is dead. And here it is 280, it decreased to 140,000, which means only 50% decreased. Okay, that's the end of this paper then. I want you to comment down below what are the topics that you want me to discuss before your exam. I would do it on, I would try to do it before this Sunday. So make sure that you put the comments as soon as possible. Thank you then. Please make sure that you like this video and also press the subscribe button if you haven't yet. Thank you. Bye.